Yes, please rise. Mr. Romano, allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 3 is invocation by Commissioner Haw.
Thank you, Chairman. Could we bow our heads? Lord, we bow our heads in prayer to thank God for the many gifts and talents of each of our commissioners. We thank you for the privilege of serving the fine people of Macomb County. We ask your blessing on our deliberations today. May your spirit of wisdom be our guiding light. We also ask, Lord, that you bless our youth and our veterans that are here today, and we ask this through Jesus Christ, our brother. Amen.
Item number 4, adoption of the agenda. I need a motion to adopt. Commissioner Romano, supported by Commissioner Kraft. Please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item number 5, approval of the minutes dated October 17, 2019. Need a motion to approve. Commissioner Brown, supported by Commissioner Sauger. Any changes or corrections? If not, please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 6, public participation. Any members of the public wishing to speak? You have 5 minutes. Any members of the public wishing to speak? Mr. Daniels.
Yes, sir. All right. As the, I'd like to speak as the chairman of the
Oh, could you turn the microphone on, please, Pat? Thank you. Right on the bottom, on the base, there's a button. There you go. Thank you.
As the chairman of Veterans Service Commission, I just wanted to thank you. I know I'm a nominee today, but as the chairman of the Veterans Services Commission and representing the veterans in the county, this Veteran of the Year for the county is long overdue. There's a ton of veterans in this county that work for our veterans every day, and all of them deserving this award. We are the county. When you look at the other counties, we do more for veterans here, I think, than any other county in the state, and that includes Wayne and Oakland. And, so that whoever wins the award, it's long overdue that we started doing this and recognizing our veterans. And as a commission, we're grateful to you guys for doing this and honoring our veterans from here forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Any other members? Seeing none, we're going to close public participation. Off item number 7, we don't have any new correspondence from the executive's office, so we'll go to item number 8. Need a motion to appoint Menan Adil. I'm very bad with this. Are they here? Good, so they can't yell at me for mispronouncing that. I need a motion to support for the Substance Use Disorder Oversight Policy Board. We have a motion, Commissioner Myjack, supported by Commissioner Romano. All right, I don't see anybody for discussion, so please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item number 9, presentations. We have introduction of Leadership Macomb Junior Program. Julie Petkoff is going to come and start this off, but I first need a motion to receive and file. Commissioner Leonetti, supported by Commissioner Kraft. Come on up. Welcome, Julie.
Welcome. First of all, thank you guys for hosting all of us for our junior program. We appreciate you doing that and all the work of your staff allowing us to be here and doing a couple extra things with them. So thank you for that. We do have a Leadership Macomb program as our adult core program. So this is an optional session for them. And we have a number of those members here as well from that group. And then our high school students, we have almost 40 kids here from our Junior Leadership Macomb class. So I'd like to introduce our one of our students. His name is Joshua Mayer, and he's from Anchor Bay High School. And he is going to talk a little bit about what our junior program is and then one of his personal experiences with it. So without further ado, Joshua Mayer, please.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for the privilege of your time in supporting our program. It really does mean a lot to us. Oftentimes nowadays, my generation, I know specifically, doesn't have the time to learn about the aspects that help government run and help keep voters informed, things like that. So it's very valuable to us when we have that opportunity, especially from those who are already working so hard to help us all. So thank you, first of all. But as far as Junior Leadership Macomb and the adult program Leadership Macomb goes, I'd like to tell you that it is a very successful program, as it's already created countless leaders in our community. Since 2013, over 250 students have graduated from Junior Leadership Macomb alone. That's a very big impact, as they're drawn from all across the county itself. Most likely, in my opinion, the best portion of it is actually the integration of all aspects of running the county itself. It's very, very open, very, very involved, and we get to see the hands-on processes that so many of these aspects have, from the environment to health and human services to the actual justice system. All of these things intertwining helps us to see all that goes into it and will help us be better prepared to fulfill these roles in our futures. As far as my personal experience, I don't think it would best serve the program to go over a single day or a single moment, but rather my personal greatest, I guess you could say, triumph in joining was meeting all the new people from across the county. Oftentimes in our high schools or middle schools or elementary schools, depending on age, we only see one side of things. We only see our local area's perspective. But just being here, I've met so many new people and seen so many new points of view that I think it really does, in the long run, open us up to more options that we may not have even known. For example, Junior Leadership Macomb facilitates job shadowing among many different facilities, opportunities. For example, we've had, I believe, 2 to 3 program members before job shadow at Selfridge Air National Guard Base. As you can see, I'm an Air Force Junior ROTC, so that's definitely an opportunity for me. It's a very big deal. But I'd also like to touch on the adult program. It was founded in 1996, and over 1,000 individuals from 120 organizations have attended. That's a big impact, not only with our youth growing up, but also it helps those we already have to be more effective. So in truth, the program helps on many different levels and will continue to help the county grow and succeed. With that, I don't believe I have anything more other than thank you again. And I ask that you please keep us in your hearts and minds and help us to keep doing what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank all of you for coming to our board meetings. You can come to our meeting anytime you would like. It's nice to have friendly faces in the audience. Not that you're not friendly normally, Steve, but we have a couple speakers. Commissioner Romano.
Josh, it would be remiss of me if I didn't call out and give a shout out to my nephew, Mr. Juke, who was at Anchor Bay and been there for probably 18 years, and hopefully was somewhat instrumental in you achieving some of the goals that you were looking for. That's all I have. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. I don't have any other speakers. Anybody else wishing to speak? Nope, we had a motion to receive and file. Please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Great. Item number 10, proclamations. The first proclamation, 10A, is honoring Macomb County Board of Commissioners 2019 Veteran of the Year. As Veterans Day approaches, our board decided that we'd like to express to the county's large community of veterans how deeply we appreciate your selfless contributions that you've made towards serving and protecting our country. We're going to honor and recognize a veteran who's made significant contributions. So this year as a board, as Mr. Daniels said, we decided to create the Veteran of the Year, the Macomb County Veteran of the Year Award. And you're right, it is long overdue. And all of us are very proud to be a part of this moment. Nominations for the community were collected online and by email, and letters were dropped off, and we asked the nominators to explain why the person should be honored. So 26 veterans were nominated. Some were nominated multiple times. All the commissioners, usually it's one of our commissioners doing that. all the commissioners reviewed the nominations, and all of them were impressive. Obviously, as Mr. Daniels said, there are so many veterans out there doing so much for other veterans that it's obvious that it's hard to pick the one best person out there. So that's why we're going to have this annually. One nomination, though, really did stand out to us above the rest. So I'm going to ask, oh, where did you go, Commissioner Romano? One of our veterans to hand the plaque off to our nominee or to our winner. And I'm going to read this, the proclamation while he does. So I'd like to announce Pat Daniels. Yeah. So, so Pat, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit and read from the proclamation here. And normally I just pick parts of it, but in this case I'm going to read the whole thing. Whereas public service with sincerity, honesty, devotion, and genuine involvement in activities and projects that generate improvement and betterment of the quality of life for people is an aspiration and a dream sought by many, but seldom achieved or fulfilled. Whereas the aforesaid attributes aptly describe Pat Daniels, who unselfishly gives his time, energy, and undaunted efforts to Macomb County's large and growing community of veterans in need. As a veteran himself, Pat Daniels serves his community each and every day as a compassionate and empathetic advocate for our county's veterans. Whereas Pat Daniels selflessly served with the United States Army during Vietnam War and has received many awards and accolades for the significant contributions he made towards protecting our country. Of the most significant contributions, though, we feel, is the contribution you've made to the veterans of the Macomb County and the state of Michigan. And there's nothing higher than this calling as a veteran than one who helps other veterans. Whereas Pat Daniels has volunteered his time and tireless efforts for more than 16 years as a member of the Macomb County Veterans Affairs Committee, on which he has served as chair for the past 12 years. As chair, Pat was a crucial proponent in making the Macomb County Veterans Services Office the best in the state. And I think we know that, and we've heard that many times that we are. Whereas in addition to his contributions with the Veterans Affairs Committee and the Veterans Services Office, Pat serves as one of the charter members of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 154, and as treasurer of Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association of Michigan, Chapter 35-3, I believe. Good. Also, whereas Pat Daniels raises considerable donations for various veterans associations throughout Macomb County, each year he organizes a highly popular and well-attended memorial ride for the Freedom event, at which raises significant amounts of money and funding, which are donated to the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Detroit, as well as Fisher House Foundation. Whereas it is fitting and proper that Pat Daniels, a man of high integrity and valor, be recognized by this board as the very first recipient of the inaugural annual Macomb County Board of Commissioners Veteran of the Year Award, a special honor recognizing an outstanding veteran for the many contributions and distinguished years of service to the citizens of Macomb County and the veterans of the United States military.
Thank you.
Pat, thank you very much. You can have the mic. I got it. And Pat, can you, So Pat, I'm gonna let you speak in 1 second, but I also want to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to rename the Board of Commissioners Annual Veterans of the Year Award to the annual Pat Daniels Macomb County Veteran of the Year Award presented by the Macomb County Board of Commissioners. Can I get a second for that? I think we have a second all the way through, but we'll go with Commissioner Carabelli, our veteran. Anybody like to speak to this, or would we like to just vote? Mr. Brown.
Yeah, Pat, I just want to say thank you for all the service you've been. My many years on this board, you've always been there for veterans. Even before the Veterans Commission, you were a big advocate with your post here, Mount Clemens, and all the good works you've done. And you're the go-to person to get things done for veterans and for other members of the community, for that matter, as well. And we're glad to see you're back on your feet and you're healthy and still continuing to push on and do what you do best, which is serve your veteran community and keep us all educated on the needs of veterans. So I just want to thank you. God bless you, and many years of health. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Oh, Commissioner Sauger.
All I can say is, Pat, if you look up in the dictionary and say veteran, you'll have a dash, you'll have Pat Daniels as a real tribute to the Veterans Association. And I've known you for many years, like all of your buddies out there, and nobody said a bad word about you. So God bless you, stay healthy, and you got a lot of friends out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Marvin.
Commissioner Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pat, before I had this job, you know, I worked for Congresswoman Candace Miller. And one of the biggest undertakings that I had as a staffer was trying to put on an event for Vietnam veterans to receive their PIN. And, excuse me, you helped me with that. And it was the biggest undertaking that I ever had to do under Congresswoman Miller. And you helped me, and we honored hundreds of Vietnam veterans that had never been thanked, nothing like that before. And I just want to thank you for that, because for me, that was one of the highlights of my young political career, my young career in government. And you were there the whole time, helping me through it. We worked through every angle, every aspect of it, and it was fantastic. And Pat, I can't say enough for what you've done for the veterans here, for our country, and I wanted to thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Haw.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pat, I, as well as others, want to thank you for everything you've done. Back in the day, as you'll recall, when I was mayor, you approached me and wanted Chapter 154 in Roseville. And we found a place, and we put it up, and it ran just fantastic with you and the support of the rest of the veterans. Unfortunately, you had to move out of Roseville, but we definitely appreciated you and everything you've done, and you've been a friend for a long time, and I value that friendship. So God bless you.
And I yours.
Commissioner Romano.
Thank you, Chair. You know, we honoring Pat as a veteran, but I want people out there aware of the fact we also have Mr. Sauger over here was military in the Navy. Am I correct, Marvin? We have Mr. Carabelli, who was military in the Marines. Am I correct, Mr. Carabelli? So as long as we have veterans on this commission, we're going to have this commission veterans every year. Thank you. That's all I have.
I like to say, even if we don't have veterans, we will have this. So, Pat, the mic's yours. We're going to take a quick picture after you're done, and I know that, you know, generally talking to you over the years, you're a man of few words if it doesn't have to do with getting something done for veterans, but I'm going to give you the mic right now. And
Well, first of all, I'm honored, surprised. I don't do what I do for this. You all know. I say all the time to people, the only thing we owe our veterans, the only thing we owe is everything. This isn't a me award. Pat didn't win this, the veterans of Macomb County. I share this with every veteran who's offered a hand to another vet that was in trouble or said, hey, let me tell you where you need to go. Today, surprisingly enough, I went to Burlington Coat Factory this afternoon early to buy a coat for a veteran that's in vets returning home that needed a 5X coat. I found the coat, and I'm standing in line. The guy behind me says, excuse me, I want to thank you for your service. I said, it was my honor. And he proceeds to tell me that he has an Iraq vet, his son, who has moved to Macomb County from Texas. And I said, how's he doing? He said, well, his wife and his 2 kids and him are living at my house, and all he does all day is sleep. He's got PTSD. I can't get him out of the basement. I don't know what to do with him. He had surgery on his ankle. He got hurt in the service. I said, did he ever file a claim with the VA? Are they doing anything for him? And he said, no, he filed a claim in Texas, but he got frustrated and walked away. Hold on a minute. Here's my card. Tell that young man to call me or to go over to Veteran Services or call Veteran Services. So that was how my day went. And those two, that made my day. This is tremendous honor, but for me, being able to get that coat for that vet and vets returning home and being able to hopefully get that Iraq vet headed in the right direction, those are the things that make my day every day. So,
And
thank you. There are
that's the
so
reason
many
you
more
have this.
guys more deserving than me, but I certainly appreciate it more than I could ever tell you.
we thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
For
And
believing in me.
we're gonna take a quick picture. Ward? Hey, yeah, right now.
Oh, look at him.
Mike. We got to vote on that, right? We need to vote on it. Hey, Mike? For what?
Oh, did you say this part?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to. So we have a motion on the floor. We have a motion on the floor. Please vote. So, Mike, before you announce it, I'd like to mention also thank you very much to all of the other veterans that were nominated. This was a tough choice. I remember it's a tough choice, but it's a clear choice, and I'm happy that it ended up this way. But all of them are well-deserving veterans, as I'm sure there's hundreds and hundreds more out there. We envision this to be obviously ongoing, and to honor Pat's legacy, we'll be asking Pat's assistance in designing a very special patch, which we're already talking to people about designing, that will be given out to the winner every year. So, Pat, we're going to be talking to you about that. So, again, thank you, and Mike, the vote, 12-0. Thank you. Item number 10B, proclamation honoring East Point Mayor Susan Pixley for outstanding public service. Commissioner Kleinfeld. Do we have a motion? Commissioner Kleinfeld, supported by Commissioner Haw. Would you like to speak to this, Commissioner Kleinfeld?
Just after finishing her third term as mayor, she's decided to retire, but she served on the board of directors of the MML, the Michigan Association of Mayors, SEMCOG, PACE, Rotary, you name it, the Chamber of Commerce. We couldn't even list all the things that she's done, so we just wanted to show her a little appreciation. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. I don't have any other speakers here, and we have a motion. Please vote.
Commissioner Majek? Vote passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 10C, on motion or proclamation honoring Chesterfield Township Library's 25th anniversary, presented by Commissioner Kraft. We have a motion. Commissioner Kraft, support. Commissioner Duje. Commissioner Kraft, would you like to speak to this? All right. Thank you. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item number 11, department recommendations. Interagency 11A, interagency agreement with Michigan Department of Treasury, collections of accounts receivable, 42-1 District Court. Can we have a motion to take A and B together, since they're Commissioner Haw, Commissioner Sauger? It'll show me in 1 minute. Hello, Mr. Nizol. Would you like to speak to this?
Hello. Yes, I'd be happy to the extent it's a pretty straightforward intergovernmental agreement that we would need the board's approval for. They attempt to collect court fines and costs on their own for quite a while. When they're uncollectible, we like to send them off to Treasury in order to have them give a second shot at trying to get any money before they're written off. So this is what that allows us to do.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Kleinfeld.
I don't remember doing this before. Have we done this with them?
I believe in the past, finance handled it, I guess. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm sort of on the same page, unfortunately, with Mr. Nizol. I don't remember signing these agreements in the past. I'm told I did. I'll have to go with that. And I'm quite sure the reason I didn't come here was because the fees are under $35,000, but they are intergovernmental agreements and should come here, and that's why it's before you.
Well, thank you for the correction. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Commissioner Carabelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of questions for you.
Sure.
In here, you see on an average of 15 to 20,000 from the 42.2. And I look at the notes that were given to us, and I have a grand total of 264,878,000. Combining it with the Romeo gives me a grand total of 410,961. So I look at that and I say, okay, 20%, if I had $20,000 that we would receive back annually from the state, it would have to be $24,000 in fines, because 20% we pay them $4,000 for the collection. The difference of these outstanding debts of the 410,000 isn't, the numbers aren't matching up. When you say 15 to 20 annually and it's $410,000 up to June 30th of 2019.
So are you asking, I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand the
I
question.
had this information that was given to me, and it says 42 District Court, New Baltimore. You go through the amount assessed, cumulative adjustments, and you go for parking tickets, for example, $1,900. Civil infractions, $209,000.
Do you want to give him a copy? It's not in the
Here's an extra copy.
I believe I do have a copy.
Okay,
Is this what
Yes.
This is what we
you
received.
received from
I
the
look
court?
at the grand total between the two courts is 410,000, or if I just go to your court of 264,000, and you're asking them to collect on an average of 15 to 20,000, where's the difference? Are we writing that off, or I don't understand.
So, okay, I may have to defer to Susan Sabo on this a little bit, but I think I can field this. Or Sandy, who's the administrator for Romeo, as I'm the circuit court administrator. So, Sandy?
The tickets that are sent, the tickets that are sent to collection are civil infractions only. And those are the tickets that have sat in the drawer, uncollected. So those are the things that go to Treasury, and they do intercepts with income tax. And then they send us the money back. They do collect 20% and send us the remainder.
Okay, so with that said, our late fees, is it 20% of the cost, or how are we assessing the number on our late fees? We talked about numbers the other day briefly.
It's 20% of the total amount that they collect.
And I'm asking you, our court, if I have a $100 ticket and it's late, what is my late fee on that $100 ticket? Is it $20?
Yes.
It is, so it's 20%. Okay, so again, so out of the $410,000, I'm understanding then we're not sending that much up.
No, we're only sending the civil infractions.
Okay, and then the civil infractions, again, is the biggest one.
Right.
You get, between the two courts, it's a 340 some $1,000. Out of $340,000, we're only getting 15 to 20 back.
It depends on if people file their income taxes.
Okay, I'm just trying to get an understanding, because the numbers aren't adding up to me.
They go up after 180 days of not having any
Respond. Oh.
any activity.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Thank you. Just one more question. I know a few of the courts have their own, and I understand it's a manpower thing too, but but they send their own garnishments out and seem to collect pretty well on that, and they collect 100% of it. Have we looked into that? I mean, not 100%. I mean, they don't have to pay out 20% is what I mean. I don't mean they collect everything out there. Is that something we've looked into, or we try, or is something that can be combined with our circuit court, or do we send all the circuit court cases up to?
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that, Commissioner, because we do have a judicial aid department at Circuit Court that tries to do all the collections, including income tax intercepts. We are actually in the process for the first time of trying to enter into one of these agreements with Treasury as well, because these are the things that we can't collect. Even after the income tax intercept and everything else that we've done, we still can't collect it, so better than write it off entirely.
Sure.
This gives us one last bite at the apple to try to get some money, so it's basically better than nothing.
So, but that's then the third attempt, right? So there's regular, I sent you, I gave you the fine. The second one you've tried to intercept or garnish, and then the third one, after nothing has happened, you're sending it up. Is that the same process though because we're gonna do the intercept and the income tax and the garnishment first attempt before we send it up?
We don't do garnishments. We
Okay.
just send it up through
And I would just
Treasury.
say that this year, obviously, a little late for it, and
Right.
I don't have any idea of the manpower, but I come from Clinton Township, and I work with their courts a little bit, and I know they do their own garnishments in-house, even if there's a way to collaborate with them. Just a thought,
We
to
can check.
save the 20%.
We can check.
Great, thank you. I don't have, Commissioner Romano. Look at this.
So I'm listening to Commissioner Carabelli, and I'm hearing what you're saying about the collections. So all of these collections are done in-house, is that correct? Even, sending it out for taxes and that, or hitting the tax, but they're all done in-house, so to speak.
I was referring to the Circuit Court with respect to what we do at Circuit Court. I'm the administrator for the Civil Criminal Division at Circuit, so Sandy was referring to the 42s, what they do.
So it is done in-house?
Only
At
Circuit Court.
the
Well,
entirety
the ones that
is
are,
done in-house.
you got a big number there in Circuit Court. What was that again, if I may ask, Mr. Carabelli? And what are the Circuit Court numbers?
In terms of collections,
Here's where I'm going with this, so that you understand where I'm going. Have we ever looked at an outside source for collection and giving them, we're writing these off, profit, we're sending it out, they're writing them off as not collectible. How about sending all this stuff out to a private collection agency? Have
Well,
you
that's-
looked at that?
yes, we used to do that. None of them will take it because the collection rates are so low, so that's why Circuit Court at this point is trying to do it with Treasury as well. We used to have a private collection agency to do it at the tail end, and about a year ago, 2 years ago, they all said, no, thank you. Their rates are too low. These are the people who are basically uncollectible. So at Circuit Court, I scrambled. I said, Treasury can help.
John, I just have one more question. I just want to make sure I understand right. The Circuit Court, you have 3 steps, 2 steps before you go to the state.
Well, we have the initial
Yep,
order
initial-
from the judge.
Right, and then-
we have attempts at doing payment plans with individuals
Mm-hmm.
who come in and speak with our judicial aid office, and if they can't pay everything right up front, they try to get them on a payment plan.
And what about the people that don't even respond after?
We'll do the income tax garnishments.
So why wouldn't, since our
Manpower.
district courts are part of the whole court system, why wouldn't we incorporate the district courts with your initial income tax one before we bring them all to the state? Is there a reason?
Extremely labor intensive.
Okay.
And it is a huge project for the judicial aid department to handle that.
Manpower.
And essentially, yes.
Okay.
I mean, they take a lot of time doing it, so.
I just want to understand the
Yes.
differences.
And they have far fewer employees than we do, so, and they don't have a dedicated department to handle it, so.
Got it.
It's quite a bit, it's a big part of their job, is doing these income tax intercepts and garnishments.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Leonetti.
Yeah, and just keep in mind too, before they even get to the collection point, if they don't pay on a civil infraction, which is usually like a speeding ticket or something like that, they lose their license. So right off the bat, that's the first sanction, is they lose their license. So you can imagine the type of people that we're dealing with here. If they lose their license, they don't care, okay? And then they're just not paying it. So it's a very, very difficult group of folks to collect from. So I think they're doing the best they can with what they're dealing with. So just a point.
Thank you. Commissioner Sauger.
Yeah, you also got to remember that these are hard to collect, like everybody's saying, but the collection agency is going to take 35, 40, or 45%. So there's not much to get, so why waste all that time and money for them to collect their money first? Because we would get the second part of it. So 35 is that's quite a bit of money.
Well, we do try to get it first, and then that's why the Treasury charges a lower rate than a collection agency at this point for what they do.
All right, thank you. I don't have any other speakers. So we have a motion on the floor. Please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 11C, contract 2020 Blue Cross Blue Shield. We need a motion to approve the contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield for the Medicare Advantage Group Renewal Health Insurance for eligible retirees for January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2020 in the amount of $429.07 per member per month at an estimated annual cost of $11,662,123 for all 2,265 members for Human Resources. Funding is available in the Retiree Health Care Trust Fund. Commissioner Brown, support by Commissioner Hall. Do we need a speaker at all on this? Mr. Anderson, do you have something quick, or does anybody wish to hear? Why don't you give us just a quick?
Well, ordinarily I would be bringing this in December with the other renewals that we usually have for healthcare, but Blue Cross said they needed more lead time this year to comply with the CMS rules, whereas the healthcare and Medicare Advantage folks need to get their informational packet by December 15th, and they wanted to have the contract secured prior to that.
Great. Thank you. I don't have any speakers on this, so. Oh, Commissioner Drollet.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Was the decision to sign with Blue Cross this particular package dictated essentially by contractual agreements, or how did we come about securing this particular package?
Well, we went out for bid in 2017 for all of our health care, and this is the last remaining year of that contractual agreement with the Medicare Advantage group that Blue Cross provides. And then next year we'll be going out again for health care bids for all of our health care as well.
So this is part of a previously determined bidding process, and it's the last year of a contractual bidding of a contract, essentially?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I don't have any other speakers. Please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Great. Item 12. 12A, need a motion to adopt the 2020 meeting schedule. Anybody? Commissioner Kraft, would you need support for the meeting schedule? Commissioner Romano. We've had plenty of months to discuss this, so I guess I don't see any speakers. Please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Great. Thank you. Item 12B, I need a motion to adopt a settlement agreement, USDC case number 217 CV 10937. Mouthful. That one, you remember that one. Commissioner Carabelli, supported by Commissioner Kleinfeld. Please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 13, Health and Human Services Committee recommendations. 13A, we have a contract, the Arab Community Center for Economic and Social Services, Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, services $301,000. Need a motion to approve? Commissioner Hall, supported. Commissioner Sauger. I don't see any speakers. Please vote.
motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 14, Records and Public Safety Committee recommendations. Anybody wishing to move A, B, and C? Commissioner Duge, supported by Commissioner Leonetti. I don't see any speakers on any of these items. Please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 15, Internal Services Committee recommendations. I have A through C. Would you like to move, Commissioner Carabelli? Right, supported by Commissioner Kraft. Any discussion on A through C? I don't see any speakers. Please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Items D and or E, Commissioner Leonetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion to postpone items D through E until Internal Services Committee meeting on January 13th of 2020.
Okay, I have a motion to postpone, which is to a specific date on January 13th, 2020, with Commissioner Drolet supporting. Well, it's a motion to postpone. Postpone is to a specific date. Table is just on the table that can come off anytime. Well, how about, we'll go with the no discussion part? Please vote.
The motion passes 10-2 with Commissioners Kleinfeld and Carabelli voting no.
All right, item 16, Public Services Committee recommendation. I have A and B. Would anyone like to move those together or separately?
So moved.
Commissioner Carabelli together? A and B? Okay. Would you? All right, Commissioner Carabelli moves 16A. Commissioner Drolet, would you like to support A? No. Anybody on A? Commissioner Kleinfeld. Great. Any speakers on A? I don't see any speakers. Please vote.
The motion passes 11-1 with Commissioner Drolet voting no.
16B, need a motion to approve 16B. Commissioner Drolet, supported by Commissioner Kraft. I don't have any speakers. Please vote. Oh, you have a speaker? You may.
Thank you, Chair. You know, we have a larger than normal audience here, so that the audience present is aware of the fact we seem to be going through these pretty quick for you guys, and there's a lot of stuff on it. But all of these items have been discussed in detail before they come to the full board. That's why it seems like we're voting on these pretty quick. We've had lots of discussions on all of these items, and now they're just coming for to the full board for either approval or disapproval. That's all I have.
Thanks for bringing that up. And yes, all of the committees that these are discussed in are full board committees, so they've been discussed by everybody at least one time. In open session, correct. All right, let's vote. It's not that everyone wants to get out of here fast.
The motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 17, we have closed session to discuss pending litigation, case 217-14077, LVP APP, County of Macomb, Michigan versus Purdue Pharma. Need a motion to enter into closed session to discuss that litigation.
So moved.
I have a motion and support.
I'm going to inform them what we do out there, why we're going into closed session.
Yeah, we can talk about,
The people out there.
yes, no, I'm sorry, but, yes, go ahead, Marv, if you would like to do that, and then you can speak. Do you have a point?
Yeah, when we go into closed session, you all have to get out of the room.
You all have to leave.
Everybody except the board up here and the attorneys to discuss something in private. We discuss it, we don't vote on it then, but we let everybody voices their opinion. And then we open the door and we let you back in. So that's what we do in closed session.
Yeah, okay, don't count on that. Commissioner Kleinfeld?
And I know that we have a listing of how we do things in bylaws and everything. And I know we've talked about this before. I know I've said it before. It is my opinion closed session should always follow public participation and be right before adjournment, even if there's another motion to take place. I hate it when we kick everybody out and then they come back in later on. And they might not come back in this situation, but I've just wanted to reiterate that because happens a lot, and that's my opinion. Thank you.
They are staying around for after the meeting to talk to us, so that's didn't matter which way we did it on this one. Most of them. Commissioner Drollet.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a slight clarification to build on what Commissioner Sauger said. The public, when we do a closed session, is to discuss a lawsuit. So it's not just any public policy issue that might be out there. Well, anything would have to be discussed in public, except if it's a lawsuit and we're discussing strategy with our attorney in what that attorney should do in relation to a lawsuit the county's facing. So it's not general public policy, which we could not discuss in private. That would have to be done in obvious public session. Yeah, amongst other stuff.
If I may add just one thing.
Please, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't.
All right. No, just so you know, this is of interest to you folks. It really is. You notice our chairman identified the case. We have to do that by law. And just so you know, the case deals with the opiate litigation, the opiate crisis. So we have to go into closed session and discuss it with our attorney, but most of you are probably aware of the opiate crisis, and so this is something that we're going to be discussing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? We have a motion on the floor. Please vote.
The motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. We are in closed session. All right, commissioners, we're back in session. Item number 18, correspondence. City of St. Clair Shores resolution supporting Lake St. Clair recreational fishing and an update of Michigan's commercial fishing regulations. Need a motion to receive and file? I have Romano and I have Leonetti. And I don't see any speakers, so please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Great. New business, any commissioners with new business?
Yeah, just a quick new business that, that day when the minimum wage proposal that I talked about, and we had the food here, and I had a letter here from Macomb Food Program thanking us for the donation, 81 pounds. I know you want to take some of that, but I just wanted to thank Courtney in the back because she helped me out with that. So Courtney, you're in the back. Thank you, thank you.
Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Thank you. I just want to publicly acknowledge my son for deciding not to do a recount in his race. I think that was a very classy decision. For those of you out there that don't know, my son ran for mayor, and out of 5,000 votes cast, there was no primary. He lost by 19, which is less than 1.5 votes per precinct. But I think his decision not to do a recount will allow the city to move forward, and I'm just very proud of him for making that decision. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Any other commissioners? All right. Please remember Monday's Veterans Day. We will be here again next Wednesday. Item number 20, public participation. Any members of the public? This is your last chance to come up and speak. You have 5 minutes. Any of you future leaders of Macomb County wish to come up and speak? You have 5 minutes. All right. Seeing nobody, we're going to close public participation. Need a motion to adjourn. Anybody? Anybody? Commissioner Drolet today. Commissioner Duge. Yes, and everybody, we offered that the commissioners would stick around and talk to the students if you're available. So please stay around and have some conversation with them. They'd appreciate it. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.